I'd like to introduce today our first speaker is Davorka Suvak, and she will be talking about equestrian therapy in the program that she runs out of Frying Pan Park. And with no further ado, I'll let you go on, and we'll have plenty of time for questions.
So, good morning, everybody. My name is Davorka Suvak, Dada, and I'm honored to be here, and I'm thankful to Jim for this invitation, and I'm thankful for your time you dedicated to hear this story. So, I'm founder and former executive director of Spirit Open Equestrian Program. And that Spirit Open Equestrian Program operates at Frying Pan Farm Park at Herndon, Virginia. And it's kind of small and soon to become medium or even large nonprofit. But this is not what I want to talk about. I will talk about philosophy and mission and kind of concept of equine assisted therapies we provide for community there. And I hope it's going to be interesting. And I'm looking forward for any questions you might have at the end of this. Or if you're really eager to hear fast your questions, you will not confuse me. You just kind of jump in and say, hey, what's going on here about that or something. Also, I feel that it's important to share with you that English is not my native language, and I want to apologize for my accent, and I hope you'll be able to follow my message. Again, if it's something goes confusing, just slow me down because I talk fast, because I'm excited, it's from my heart. And you will not offend me. I'm very much open to reword or try to explain if I said something not really clearly. Okay. So this story, this lecture is about very important things in human life. It's about how to raise children and how to make kids and youth to become better people in sense of being sensitive to other people around themselves, having that what some people call emotional intelligence or compassion, or to mature with ability to control their natural self-centeredness. Okay. And it's going to be about horses. It's going to be about civilization, and it's time to start. Okay, so now I have a slideshow which kind of illustrates what I'm talking about, and I will share that with you. Okay, so let me share my screen first. Okay. Yes, we're good. And this is it. You press. Perfect. So it is concept of open equestrian program. I would focus on the word open because traditional therapeutic riding and similar programs usually have a very clear and visible line between those who are providing the service and those who are clients, participants, however you name them, which makes that feelings of being divided. I'm talking about the biggest group of clients or participants, kids or youth with special needs, with problems with delayed growing up and everything. And open equestrian program, it's the word opens talks about specific real inclusion. So this is what I'm focused on, because it's not only serving and providing service for families and kids with disabilities or special needs, but it's helping youth in community to learn and to improve their basic life skills, which are compassion, social skills, leadership skills, but also they learn about how to earn and give respect. They learn to be tolerant. They learn to accept different situation in life. But let's talk more about that later. This is just the title. So, and it is about horses. Short review of history. We all know, most of us know that horses changed the world in 18th and 19th century, and they almost disappeared in 20th, and it's about to disappear even in 21st. But now there is a very active movement which started actually in our civilization sometimes 1951 too, and I will talk about that, when people recognize that horses can be more than just a strong symbol of social power, which is the area where they survived the most. It's expensive sport, it's expensive love and occupation, and it's not really, it's not easy for everybody to get into that activities. So we live in the world where those pictures down there says it all. People live far away from nature. Being in urban areas, children have no chance to learn not only about academic issues. They need to learn about life, but they learn from books, media, or don't learn it at all, because it's possible to grow up without that knowledge if you focus too much of academic or area. And teenagers and young adolescents struggle with self-esteem and confidence. That's the result of low level of that basic life skills. Sometimes it happens that society is pushing parents and families to put as much as possible information in kids' brains and to achieve as much as possible in academic area, and don't have a time or chance or opportunity, or they're not even supported or inspired to help kids to grow on that emotional and spiritual level, which might be sometimes, which might result of all of those problems I listed here and even more. From that low self-esteem is kind of normal thing for teenagers. It's not a drama. That's a kind of stage in growing, but it can go to real depression and all kind of mental health issues we might have. People of all ages suffer of depression and wide ranges of mental and emotional disorders, beside all other disorders which are kind of result of very high level of medical skills to keep our body functioning, no matter of our mind and soul. And losing that balance is painful for individual and for community in general. So consequences of all above are visible in all bad things we witness in society, in the whole world, because world became much smaller than it was at the time when we grown up. We are kind of close in generation, and lack of balance between body, mind, and soul has very high cost on a whole society. Now it sounds really dramatic, but I don't think so that many of you would argue. And feel free to argue if you think that I'm wrong. I know that it's not a general situation, but it's an issue our society has to deal with. So also in our world is a growing percent of people with disabilities. Average 10% handicapped of whole population has intention to grow as a result of better medical care and human ability to save life in cases which have been hopeless before. This statement talks about kids with physical disabilities. It's a cerebral palsy, all kind of genetic disorders from Down syndrome and more. And beside that, we need to improve our emotional skills to be able to function and prosper in society. It's about intention in the world to or our obligation actually to handle situation. And we are not individuals, we are society, and in our society there are much more people with special needs. They're children and they grow up, and if we don't learn and if we don't raise our how they call it, neurotypical kids to accept and handle situation with kids and people with disabilities, our society going to be in trouble. So back to horses again. As I stated, they changed the world 300 years ago, and they built our Western civilization basically from industry, from transportation, wars, everything. Horses have been involved heavily in the development of Western civilization, and nobody has any doubt about that. But today, in 21st century, they became discovered again as teachers, healers, and friends. So this is that turn into the area which mostly has been well known as mostly as therapeutic riding. And therapeutic riding, let me take a second here. Therapeutic riding is a kind of old approach that riding a horse can bring some therapeutic benefits, and it has been focused mainly on body. So if you look at the websites or pictures, it's usually or mostly involved kid from wheelchair or person from wheelchair sitting on a horse, feeling good and enjoying and all benefits of that movement. And it's a long story. It's visible. Riding a horse can help improve muscle tone, can release spasms, can improve posture, improve growth and minor muscle skills, motor skills. But it's not all about that. And one more thing, the whole idea in Western world started when 1952 in Helsinki. It was a young lady who was a victim of polio, and her trainer has to put her to mount her on a horse from special ramp, and she participated in Helsinki in dressage, and she won silver. And her parents actually started riding lessons for her to help her to improve her condition after polio. So that tells you that focus was body. Focus was how to help people with physical disabilities to overcome their situation. So this is a nice picture of all kinds of horses just to inspire you. And to illustrate what I have to say, that For the whole human civilization, Western civilization, horses have a strong mythological and symbolical message. They're strong, they're powerful, they symbolize power and energy. And so our concept in Open Equestrian program is a new one, because it's not focused only on development and fulfilling personal. It is focused on fulfilling personal potential of individuals and idea of serving community with wide range of potential benefits. So everybody can recall that dictators and mighty people, kings and knights, used to be kind of presented on horses in the moments of power. And this is an idea which survived even in 21st century. Riding a horse, racing, jumping over jumps. It's always symbol of power. Using a horse, person on horse, kind of identify that energy and power given from horse and take it for himself. And it's still present in traditional concept of therapeutic riding, but sorry, something is wrong. Hippotherapy, which is mentioned here, is a medical approach where you have PT involved to follow and create activity of kid with physical disability on horse, because PT is focused on body of the kid. And so that way the whole process get value of scientific approach and treatment. But it is still riding, sitting on a horse. And Para Equestrian, it's also a result of the movement, general movement to involve everybody in sport. So Para Equestrian is an area where people with physical disabilities compete, and I was part of that on international level. I have seen on world championships and Paralympics people who won regular riders and horses, even being heavily disabled. And the whole, that kind of what happens, the whole idea get to the stage where it met that idea about emotional intelligence for human being, which says that we cannot be perfectly happy no matter how well educated we are, until we are not able to understand world around ourselves, understand somebody else's feelings, and control our behaviors under that circumstances. So what Spirit Equestrian program is not? It's not commercial riding club, because it includes education and improvement of social and communication skills, offering opportunity for community service for all ages of citizens. You remember in the beginning, I mentioned that open, I focus on that open word. That means that whoever is involved in that is part of the process. There are no subject and object. I'm doing something for somebody. We are all together into it, and we enjoy in mutual support and collaboration. And horse is kind of glue or big magnet, which keeps the whole idea alive and active. So standard therapeutic riding, that's what I just said, usually separate people with disabilities and perfect people on opposite side, creating a chance for people with disabilities or kids with disabilities to ride. It still works. It still, it doesn't delay all benefits of horse's movement and position on a horse, and kid feeling superior because it's on a higher level. But it skips that opportunity to help kids to earn confidence, to feel better about themselves, to feel taste of success. Because when they're objects, when something has been done to them, it doesn't help anybody's self-esteem, and it doesn't send message of success and being worth of something. So this is the concept which is kind of one step forward after therapeutic riding, and here you can see how it looks like at Spirit. It is more than just riding. It is about being involved in community, earning somebody's respect, and feeling better because of that. It's about communication. It's about motivation. It's about social skills. It's about respect, because horses can teach us about that. And it's very much fluid and almost holistic. So to bold one more time the difference between classic therapeutic riding and program in Spirit Open Equestrian program. On certain standards how to do therapeutic riding, volunteers are not allowed to talk with clients, which makes instructor main person in charge, who is leading the process, giving directions to volunteers and to kid, and kid is just trying to execute certain directions, and that's it. So we talk about sits, walk, eventually a little bit trot, and doing certain exercises. Here you can see on this picture that there is a real connection between kid and the whole team. And the final goal is to create situation where, through experience, all involved learn about care, acceptance, teamwork, because it is teamwork. Even when you ride alone, it's still teamwork, because you are team with your horse together. You learn about diversities. You learn about communication, because you have to communicate with the horse or with your helpers to make sure that you accomplish certain tasks. And the responsibility. So responsibility is making it's very important social situation where you get connected with your group, with your community, and community expects something from you, of course, and you do your best not to fail. This is one of the versions how we can describe that. So what Spirit Open Equestrian offers is activities which are beneficial for individuals and for community as well. And through discussion with parents of our clients and students in Spirit, that's what we learned, that is the loudest message. And some of those families have experience with different programs, but they recognize that difference I was talking about. And this story is not about saying that Spirit is the best, that's my personal thing, but it's about creating a message, and hopefully, I don't think so even that Spirit is alone. There are much more people who are taking care of equally for mind and soul and of riders, beside the body, beside making sure that they're strong enough or can sit on a horse. And in general, that means improvement of quality of life. So we offer at Spirit education workshops, which is something like I'm doing here, with practical experience, with hands-on around horses, and we try to influence working with schools or with individuals or any kind of social groups where we share the same message that that success is not individual thing. Success belongs to all who have been involved in that. And there is a certain joy, there is a wonderful joy in being able to create success for somebody else. So this is unique and comprehensive program for body, mind, and spirit, and the highest level of companionship between horse and human being. And why I'm saying that? Because our final goal and how Spirit or whoever is doing that kind of programs measure success of the program is to being able to create situation where kid rider with any kind of special needs, physical, mental, or emotional, can handle situation, controlling the horse, accomplishing tasks, and enjoying that, feeling himself and recognizing him or herself as a successful person. This is a message which is missing for our kids so much. And not only for kids with problems. And what I learned in our society, there are more and more kids with labels, with all kind of labels, from ADHD, depression, anxiety, autism spectrum, etc. So that label is very destructive for development, any young human being. That makes them believe they're not worth of anything and they're not capable of anything. So, and at that age, an early age, experience is the best teacher. It has much powerful message than any speech, lecture, even book or video, is to feel it, to taste it. So creating that situation where kid is accepted and honored by peers, and when they feel success, it's something which is worth more than even physical benefits, because there are certain physical situations where even riding cannot help a lot, or even if it helps, it's hard to transfer that for the rest of the life, because sooner or later you put that rider back in their wheelchair and they're still depressed and very unhappy. And so the whole, thank you for your patience. That means I like this quote, which is very important for the mission of my organization. And it doesn't matter if you act as a grandma, aunt, friend, or parent. It's important for all of us to take care of our kids and our youth. And I think we all feel pain and frustration with recent situation in life, in the whole world. And it's not easy for anybody. And for some people, it's very, very painful and difficult. But think about kids and youth. And I'm not offering horses as unique and only way to help kids and youth, but it is powerful. Because as I says, as a mythological symbols of power, success, and energy, that ideas are transferring to the mind, not only to the kids or youth on a horse, even for their parents. And that's important kind of byproduct of the whole process. If we create those moments or even more, because our session lasts almost an hour, to create not only the break for the parents, but help them to see their kids being capable, successful, accepted and connected with their peers. It heals. It heals those deep wounds of having kids with problems. And also, which by mistake, it's not so much visible in this PowerPoint, but I'm inviting you to Google for Spirit Open Equestrian and see our website. There is that equine assisted learning for regular neurotypical kids, and parents of that group are very, very loud, testifying about benefits of their kids serving kids with disabilities. And so creating that group where we have not only friendship, but kind of projects where kids get involved no matter of their level of ability and accomplish something together. It's spontaneous, it's not faked, and time spent in that experience give them extra power to handle their lives out of that situation. And it's worth more than million good job when they feel that it's not, where they have that challenge wasn't real as much as it is real when you sit on a horse, when you take care of your horse, leading in hand on the ground or riding or being able to do certain tasks during that process. Now, I hope you get my message, and I'm sure that I left so many things untold, and I hope to hear from you and even from your experience, your knowledge in interaction with horses or interaction with kids or youth with developmental